All right, you guys, welcome to season 2 of the Grappling Monthly Podcast. I am very excited to be here in Carleton Place, Ontario, with my good friend, Professor Éric Nadon.
Thanks for having me.
Oh man, thank you.
Happy to be here.
We're on location. We're in Carleton Place. We're going to see the gym today. I'm very excited to get a training session in as well. We're going to get to know Professor a little bit. You guys, if you're liking the content, please subscribe. Leave a comment. If there's things you think we can be doing better, please let us know. If you want to sponsor the podcast, of course, reach out. Very excited. Of course, this season is sponsored by our good friends, actually Chris Rossi and Jimmy Harvey, and Red Shield Supplements. So check out their site for quality pre-workout, post-workout, and intra-workout products. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get it started. Éric, you and I, we know each other from training at Evolution in Gatineau.
Yeah.
That is now at least 12 years ago.
12 years ago.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we got the chance to train together.
Yeah. So I'm about to train. I'm going to get my butt kicked in about an hour. But tell us a little bit about how you first, when you first saw jiu-jitsu, right? And what got you on the mat, and what got you to come back for the second class? What is it about jiu-jitsu that you know?
So interestingly, I started martial art with not jiu-jitsu. I started with kickboxing, boxing. I started martial art pretty late in my life, like in my early 20s. So I played hockey before that and did other sport. I started martial art because I was actually studying to become a cop. I was studying doing police foundation here in Ontario. And I was like, I need to start some martial art and learn how to defend myself. Yeah. And so I started doing some kickboxing. Back then, one of my friends in my program was doing it. So I started and I fell in love with it right away. I also competed in kickboxing, and they were teaching some classes of jiu-jitsu then. So it was my first taste of jiu-jitsu class. Nice. I was like, that thing is hard.
Yeah.
That thing is hard and very cerebral and very complex, and I was really curious about jiu-jitsu and I kind of started doing it there and there while I was doing kickboxing.
Nice.
And I fell in love with it. So I started doing it more and more. And when I wanted to do it more, I was training in New Orleans back in the day, and I was living in Gatineau, and one of my friends talked to me about Dan and Evolution, and I was like, okay, I'll try over there. And it was the level was a little higher in jiu-jitsu, and Dan was a great coach, so I started training there full time.
Nice.
And
about what year?
Oh my God, it's been a long time. I was I'm 40 now. I was about 22, 23. So it's been a long time.
We're gonna get into the secrets of what you do to look the way that you do at 40, okay? Because I look the way that I look at 44. So
you're looking great.
Oh, thanks, man. So you came across jiu-jitsu, and so what is it like? Do you remember anything in specific about jiu-jitsu apart? Like you said, it's hard. It doesn't matter how fit you are, right? Yeah. You're exhausted after that first class. What is it that you were like, I want to keep doing this?
Yeah, I think it's like that for a lot of people that starts pretty when you're physical and very athletic and stuff, and you realize that you cannot use that to beat someone that's smaller or physically weaker than you, and you just get dominated by someone that's just smaller and not as athletic.
Yeah.
How they can do that to me? I need to be able to learn that and do that. So that was the part for me. Then it's very humbling, but it really pick your curiosity because you want to be able to do that too. So nice. so having different partners that will add more experience that were smaller, or I've been training with women as well.
Yeah.
That, can do stuff to you that you don't want, how do you do that to me right now?
Yeah.
And trying to understand, all these technical piece was what kind of made me really passionate about it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Did you train in the gi and no gi as well?
Yeah. So at first I was training in the gi and no gi, yes. And when I started training with Evolution, I started to be more interested to MMA as well. So because I was still doing a lot of striking back then. So I was trying a little bit more no-gi at that moment, and striking. This is how I started like my career in MMA as well, mixed martial art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a successful career in fighting in Quebec, in Ontario. You fought in a lot of places.
Yeah, a lot of places. Yeah. I fought in a lot of places. Like from striking fights, amateur to amateur MMA to professional MMA. I wouldn't say I had a long career because I started pretty late in my life. So like, you know, like it's a real like I would say like at a professional level, like a young man's sport, you know, like, and as you get older, like it's harder on the body, harder on your health.
Yeah.
So I fought amateur for quite a while, and I had like four pro fights. And after my fourth pro fight and my fifth fight can, I started having some issues with CTE and brain concussion issues.
Okay.
So that's what made me actually make a choice to focus on jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
And really like taking care of my health.
Yeah.
Like, we have just one brain, right? And I was like, okay, I need to refocus my here because I started having some like pretty serious side effects of concussion. So like I had made a choice at that point.
Nice.
I'm focusing on jiu-jitsu. This is where like, cause at that moment when I fought professionally, I moved from Dan's gym to TriStar Montreal. It was like about 2 years at TriStar Montreal.
Yeah.
Training with Firas and the guys there, all the pro fighters. And I was at the dorms and coming back in the weekend and being there all week for like 2 years. And when I decided to stop fighting, is where I moved back here to Ottawa.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it's something about, especially the scene, and like, correct me if I'm wrong because I never fought MMA, but the scene in Canada for somebody who wanted to be training at the highest level, fighting professionally, you had to go get the best training, like in a lot of different places, right? Like you couldn't just stay, back then, you couldn't just stay maybe like in Ottawa. You had to maybe go to Montreal or like Toronto or New York or something like that to get like more variety, right?
Yes. It was still very new.
Yeah.
And it's still a new sport, you know, like even now compared to other like martial art, but it was still very new, even more like back in my time. So traveling was important.
Yeah.
Ottawa was a very small MMA scene, and now it grew a lot.
Yeah.
Now it's bigger, and there's more teams that have pro fighters and stuff. But back in the day, yes, traveling to TriStar, and I'm grateful for Dan to like as Evolution like. Affiliated with TriStar back then, so they opened that door for me to go train with, like obviously the best team in I would say in Canada for MMA, you know, TriStar Montreal.
Yeah, 100%. One day, hopefully, we'll get Professor Faraz on the podcast.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah.
But very cool. So actually, you mentioned one of my favorite things about jiu-jitsu is that I don't get punched in the face, you know, except by accident, you know.
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly.
you fall and an elbow or something like that. But
still a combat sport.
Yeah, it's still a combat sport. It's still tough, but I don't have to get, you know, a black eye, then go to work the next day. Or something like that, right?
Of course.
Nice. So at one point, you also decided to make a shift to pursue Brazilian Jiu Jitsu professionally, right? Like more than just training to compete.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, because that takes some guts, man. That takes like, you know.
Yeah. I get like, again, like I was kind of like later, like in my career, right? After MMA, I came back. And when I came back to Ottawa, Professor Pat Culligan from oama, now he's moved to the US now, offered me a job at Team Renzo Gracie Ottawa and to teach full time there. And I started training with the gi team there.
Nice.
And they were very competitive. And Team Renzo Gracie really opened my eyes about like the world scene and the world class jiu-jitsu and like something I wasn't aware of because I was really focused on MMA before. And the team in Ottawa, like back then, like Renzo Gracie was pretty one of the only team that were traveling to all the big events, Worlds, Pans, you know, Europeans, and competing against like the best all over. So they had like really high level athletes in the team. So I started training the gi again with these guys, and I got my ass kicked in my first practice, and I was like, and it was like just coming back from my pro career. I was a pro fighter back then, and I was like getting my ass kicked in the gi. I was like, these guys are good. So I'm like, okay, like, and it kind of made me fall in love with the gi again because I was training mostly no gi when I was fighting MMA, right? So I kind of fell in love with the gi again. I was like, okay, I want to do that. And this is where I really dove in, working full time, having an opportunity to travel a lot and doing all the big competitions like Pans, Worlds, Europeans, and all the IBJJF Open all over the US as well. So I was able to compete like as a purple belt. I was able to compete so much. And brown belt, same thing. So I was able to travel a lot, and I refocused my energy to compete as much as I can and learn from that experience,
Nice. And then you were awarded your black belt in what year?
Yeah, it's me 4 years now.
4 years
ago.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Like my first degree, I got my first degree last year. So,
nice. Okay. Cool. So you, I think, this is kind of the story for a lot of people that fall in love with this art. At one point, you have to go outside of your comfort zone, right? The first day, you're outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then it's fun and it's exciting. But then along the way, we have to step out of our home and go outside into the world. And like you've done on multiple occasions, which I think takes a lot of courage. And what was it like the first time you competed in like a major tournament? What was it like? Do you remember?
Like I remember my first
like a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Jiu-jitsu tournament, like a major tournament.
Yeah.
Because I competed in jiu-jitsu before, back in this white belt, as a blue belt, but more local tournaments and stuff. First time I went to Worlds at the Pyramids in California.
Nice.
And I competed there as a purple belt. It was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Seeing all like people you look up to, like all the black belts and all the big names and all like the people we look up to, like competing on the same mat. It was pretty impressive to see that, and see how big this event is too.
Yeah.
Because jiu-jitsu obviously still, I would say I think it's becoming more mainstream with ADCC and the no-gi and like all that stuff. But back then, not a lot of people knew about jiu-jitsu, but you go to Pyramids at Worlds and it's like, you have like thousands and thousands of people that are in love with jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah.
And the pairs are full. Like you watch the finals, the black belt finals, and the pairs like it's a full arena,
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, okay, and you really feel at home, in that way.
Yeah.
But it was pretty nerve-wracking, but it was a great experience. And fighting some of the best of all the best team all over the world as well. I love learning for sure there.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I think there's something to be said about that pyramid. Like there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Right? When the Mundiais moved, became the Worlds in I forget exactly which year. Then that
from Brazil to
the US, it really brought a lot of attention to the sport. Right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because now more coverage and more.
Yeah. Very cool. Did you go with your team or did you go alone?
No, I go with my team. This is one of the things I was really appreciative of when I switched to Team Renzo Gracie, because they were supporting all the athletes going towards the event. And also for a while they had a lot of sponsored athletes. I was one of the sponsored athletes. So I was working full time for the gym, but also all my trips to all the big events were also included in my work.
Yeah.
So it was a part of my work to compete as well. So that was something I was grateful for at that time, because I was able to travel all over the world and do have all this experience and gain that experience. With my team as well. And you mentioned something about getting out of my comfort zone. It's always something that that would drive me. Drove me. From starting martial arts in general and everything in my life in general. I think, and from fighting MMA and coming back and now retiring and finding something else to get out of my comfort zone, getting in the gi again, competing at the highest level in the gi. And now, as a business owner, even for me, now, opening my school and stuff was another challenge.
For sure.
So that kind of drove me as well.
Nice. Yeah, because now you're responsible, of course, for the jiu-jitsu program, but you're also responsible for keeping the lights on, right? Promotion, marketing, administration, all the things that go behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot more than just jiu-jitsu, and I was always an athlete competing and teaching. And for the last I don't know many years, 10, 12 years. So being responsible for all of that was a lot. And I'm grateful for my partner Casey that has been supportive and has a lot more experience on the business side of things. So I don't think I would I wouldn't be where I'm at now without her. So
nice.
That's good. Yeah.
That's something of a theme that has come back from a number of conversations I had with some of the guys here in Canada and in the US as well. That we're on this mat and it's you and your training, but you can't do it alone, right? You need training partners, you need a coach, you need an environment that is healthy and productive. And then everything that goes into building that in the first place. You really can't do jiu-jitsu alone.
Yeah.
You know, so
No, you can't.
that's one of the things that I really like about finding this community, about, you know, people that are also passionate about jiu-jitsu or martial arts in general.
Yeah, and it's so much more than competing too, right? The competition, like it's like you just said, training and having people in the mat showing up every day. Like even like in competition, people, because you have people that compete, people that just a hobbyists as well.
For sure.
People that just want to have fun, come in. Some people train more than other people can, but everybody on the mat all the time. It's like that would create the environment, that would create the level, that would create like, you know. So even in I've been teaching competition class for like several years now. And we have like a mix of hobbyists and competitors that train together, and that's important, you know. That's important, and like it doesn't like take away like their skill level. Just like it's a different path they choose, right?
Yeah.
But like we cannot achieve any of like what we do by ourselves. You know?
Yeah. No, that's what I like. And so you switched to like a more competitive focused school, and you got to travel, you got to compete, and at one point you decided
also career, right? Because like it was also an opportunity for me to do something I love and still make money and make a living out of it.
Of course,
even if it was not like crazy amount of money, you know, like it was, at least I was able to, you know, create a living out of something I'm passionate about.
Right. Nice. Yeah, that's so important, and it's not many people, I think, over the total of everyone that lives and works and tries to survive, you know, like to do something that you're passionate about. We hear about it, we talk about it, but it's not easy, right? Like
it's difficult.
You have to take you have to have a leap of faith.
Yeah,
right?
Faith and take risk.
Yeah,
you know, and like and you know, like I'm grateful because I was young and everything turned out pretty well for me. But like I could have, like, you know, also like I was working on the Parliament Hill after I finished my college police foundation, and like, you know, for a job like making a lot of money, and I quit that job to do full time like martial arts. You know, and it was like a lot of risk taking. True, then I don't regret now because it brought me where I'm at now. But like it's a part of it for sure. And like, and older you get, I find like maybe like scarier it gets.
100%, 100%. I can confirm. Yeah. It's definitely It's like an investment portfolio. You know, they tell you that if you start young, you have time is on your side, so you can accept risk a lot more than when if you're like close to retirement. It's good to be a little bit more conservative. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's amazing, and this is a beautiful place. So, how did you go from training and competing and teaching to opening your own school?
Yeah, so obviously we all get older, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So I also get, obviously for me, training, like even right now, it's a big part of my life. You know, like, and staying fit and training. We can talk about that a little bit in a bit, but you know, it's something I always, you know, I'm gonna keep doing till like you know, till I die.
100%.
But there's one point I was like, okay, I need to build a future also, like build something like, you know, like build a future for me, for my family and stuff. So opening an academy and a school was something that I was like really like wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, but it's interesting because for a while when I was a little younger, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that because I don't want the kind of the responsibility that comes with it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, I want to train more. I want to do this. But like as I was getting older, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Kind of like the natural like path for someone who's reinvested like and dedicated their life to what they do. You know, I was like, okay, and I always wanted to give back. I've been teaching for a while.
Yeah.
And I was teaching from like I was a blue belt in teaching classes, you know, already, and like all the way to black belt. So that's something that was natural to me.
Yeah.
But the business side of things was like from like friends and people. I know it was a little more complex and complicated than like, you know, than just teaching. And, you know, and so it was kind of scary at first because like you kind of start from scratch, and I felt like a white belt again, you know, like a white belt starting as a business owner. And I was like, okay, I have to start from scratch, starting slow and building a team. So that's what like kind of pushed me. It's like more like future, like you said, like retirement at one point, and like, you know, and also, build something, a community, then like, you know, that I can be part of, but also like a part of the building piece as well. You know?
Nice. Yeah. I love that. That's another thing that's come back on a number of occasions in just conversations around jiu-jitsu, like building that community that you want to see, that you want to be a part of, right? If it's not already there, then you build it.
Yeah.
And then people come and...
It's something I've been noticing at the school as well. Like, you know, like you said, the community, like everybody that comes in, I feel it's natural, like, like we're connected, you know, like the connection here, and like I'm super grateful for who we have here now at Torus, and it's been beautiful the last year and a half, like, and everybody that like comes, I feel like we all like have this like similar values, we're all on the same page, so
nice.
it's like pretty amazing to see that. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That comes with the leadership too, right? Like your presence, how you approach the class, you know, the energy that you bring to the mat.
Yeah.
I think is contagious, right? And then.
Thank you. Yeah, and like obviously I try my best, and also I'm lucky. I think I got like great mentors through my life, great teachers. You know, from Dan to Alain Moussi back in the day before Dan, to you know obviously Pat Culligan and Matt Ashe. Like he's been my mentor for the last like 10 years, and like still to this day like guide me with my own school.
Yeah.
And he's the owner now of the school in the city here, Oama.
Nice.
And he's been like guiding me and helping me with that. So I'm grateful for all the leadership I have in my life as well.
Nice. Yeah, that's amazing. If we change, you know, gears a little bit and talk about teaching, because it's a very different challenge to prepare yourself for competition and prepare somebody else maybe for competition, right? Or a team for competition. So do you approach it differently? Like what's your mindset when you're preparing other people to go to the competition mats?
That's a great question actually, because as we grow, you've been training for a long time, we develop a style for us and what works for us, what doesn't work for us, our body type, our strength, our weaknesses, right? And everybody's different. Everybody's different body type, different strength. So I think there's a piece when I coach and I teach, for me, it's to look at what people need, what people need to learn for them, you know, and not like what Éric Nadon is good at or needs to do. It's like, no, what these guys need, you know, to learn for their progression and their development, right? So I study a lot of jiu-jitsu, you know, all the time. Still today, you can ask my girlfriend, I'm at home, like studying jiu-jitsu matches all the time.
For
I'm very passionate about, because I want able to share that. And it's not only about my learning, it's like about their learning now more than mine. So like, you know, I still have athletes that compete all over, and like they need some guidance, you know, and they have obviously different abilities, different style. So yeah, studying a lot and like, being able to teach what people need. And that's the main thing. Sometimes, like, I notice, like, in different academies, people want to share what they're good at.
Yeah.
And it's an important part, because you want to share that piece of you, and it's sometimes going to help some other people, but also you want to share what they need. You know? And yes, fundamentals is like, should be something structured, and fundamentals, right? But like, at one point, you have to be able to teach people what they need to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like,
and see it too, you know, like observe and see what they, okay, like they need to do this, or the kind of see the potential in people as well. You know?
Yeah. I like that. For example, for me, the half guard, like I don't like it. It's not where I go to normally. But now that I'm teaching classes, I feel responsible for at least understanding the position, knowing the major ins and outs, you know, of attack, defense, sweeps. That way, at least if the class, you know, needs to be working on half guard, or if somebody's working there, or they have a question about half guard, I can help, right? Whereas me personally, I would prefer just to avoid it completely.
Yeah, because it's on your style. You try to like avoid, get out that position as much as you can.
Yeah.
But you know, it's still a very fundamental position that you end up a lot. So like, it's important that your student, you know, can understand, at least understand the position, right?
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me. I never had the phase, you know, like usually like maybe blue belt, people like spend a lot of time in half guard.
Yeah.
Or old guys. Right?
Yeah, well, guys, it's funny because I've been exploring the half guard a bit more as I get older.
There you go.
Because I'm like, sometimes the position, but you know, also it's interesting because like I had the chance to have a private lesson and train with Adam Roshansky in Toronto a few weeks ago, and before Brazilian Arrows, because he's got a Grand Slam now, and he's obviously like a master at butterfly guard and half guard, and so I was able to learn from him, and it's interesting to see him doing it at the highest level at adult young, because half guard is always a position people like kind of like talk trash about.
Yeah.
You know? They're like, oh, it's lazy, that's not, like, that's boring, and like, but he's very active in that position, and he's able to make it work at the highest level. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to work with him. It's something I've been doing a lot, traveling as well. I went to AOJ a few times, trying to travel with the best and learn from the best at what they're good at, and like see like and be able to share that with my students as well, you know?
Nice.
And because I think every position has like strength and weaknesses, right?
100%.
So,
yeah. Yeah. He, I think Adam Warzinski and John Danaher probably together are responsible for the knee lever or the John Wayne sweep being like the most popular thing now. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, everyone's trying to do it.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, you know,
it works.
It works.
Yeah.
It works for them. And also, like, there's always trend, right?
Yeah.
And trend, and once some of the best guys win at the highest level with those techniques, people will mimic it. And if you look at the jiu-jitsu scene through the years, like, there's always trend, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like Berimbolo was very popular when people were winning with it at the highest level, you know? And now you see it last, but now, you know, you have like Adam has been having like a crazy run in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So now like Butterfly, you know, like John Wayne, even that little avant-garde, like, people are like, I remember when I started training the gi, some people were telling me, some of my teachers back then, they told me like, don't do butterfly guard in the gi. It's not very effective in the gi.
Really,
Hold past standing, control the pants and stuff. But you can see guys now like looking like, you know, Marcelo was very successful with back then.
Yeah.
And now you see a guy like Adam with the modern jiu-jitsu be able to apply this game. You know? So there's always, I think, ways, and the game evolved too. The game evolved, and that's why studying the game is so important as a teacher.
Yeah.
So you can keep in touch with like the evolution of the sport, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great. You know, the other thing that's become really apparent to me, just filming here in Canada and like going, you know, I was in Montreal, then I was in Gatineau, and then I was in Templeton, and now I'm in Carleton Place. Yeah. You realize that you don't have to be in a big urban center to get the best of jiu-jitsu. You know, like it's really quality training is available in like so many places, right? And quality training partners.
Yeah.
And it's so important. It's funny we talk about the butterfly guard because Dan, right, which is the head instructor and owner of Evolution, where I started training and you were training when I started already for a while. Butterfly guard was big for him, right? And then so he has a really good butterfly guard and got a lot of things from Marcelo Garcia, who's got a great butterfly guard. And now
and I developed that style myself because I was training with that.
And now it's like I think Adam's DVD is Butterfly Guard 3.0.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is cool because it's like acknowledging there was other versions before.
Yeah. And it's just the evolution of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Just yesterday I went and I trained and I was a no-gi class and I was really surprised at how everybody's really well educated with the legs now.
Yeah.
You know, like entering into leg attacks, you know, and even like white and blue belts moving intelligently. Yeah. You know, if you leave your ankle out there, it's in danger for sure, right? Whereas when I started, like,
it was almost taboo, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I remember I did it like an inverted heel hook, and Dan was like, "Do you know what you're doing?" I'm like, "I've seen it before." He's like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, it's because like it's the kind of position as well, like where the risk of like serious injury is higher.
Yeah.
So you want to try to like kind of minimize that risk of like knee injuries are more serious than like I extend my elbow a little bit, you know when you can't walk or you need a surgery, like it's like, so that's something I think was very scary for people at first for the leg attack, but when there's a good education, it's better instead of like back in the day people were like kind of avoiding it altogether. Now I think people teach more, so you know how to escape the position, like when you're in danger, when you're not, and being more aware of your own body, right? So that's the main thing.
It's a really good segue. Actually, I want to ask you about like for a young competitor, somebody just getting into jiu-jitsu, maybe they're white, blue belt, maybe even purple, but they're still relatively young, maybe in their 20s or something like that, but really want to start competing like actively. What advice would you give, or what advice would you give yourself if you were going to talk to you in the past, getting ready to compete, and you haven't yet had that experience? Now you with all this experience, what advice would you give?
I think the advice I would give, because like we all I remember like when I started, like it was all about hard training. And hard training I think is very important. I think when you take away the hard training, people kind of like up to their comfortable side, and you have to be able to get out of that comfort zone.
Right.
And training with killers that are very good and like pushing yourself hard is very important, but it's not the only thing. And especially as a young guy, sometimes you just want to train hard.
Yeah.
Now you damage your body. I have many injuries now, you know, like through the years, like of like beating up your body instead of like recovering properly and refocusing on like studying the game more and really like working technically. And then you don't have to go at that pace every day, you know, especially when you train 2-3 times a day, you know, it's like to find that balance of like technical session and hard session. I think that's the main mistake I see with young guys. Still today, you have like, as a coach, you have to slow people down. Like, no, let's work technically right now. Let's work, you know? And because like at the end of the day, that was going to make you win tournament. And when you like get better at jiu-jitsu, it's like to understand the detail of the technique, right? And when you go hard all the time, like you get tougher. And you take away a little bit that understanding. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's not training hard. I think it's training slower sometimes. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes I don't like people that's like, don't train hard. No, you have to train hard, but you can train slower. When you go faster than you can think, you know, like you cannot improve that way. Right? Now you're like in that fight or flight and you're just like fighting someone. You know what I mean? And it's slowing down a bit and like trying your hardest, but slowing down. So you see what's happening. And like don't be shy to put yourself in bad position. Like, and again, like when you suck at something, like, and you like position you're terrible, like put yourself there again and again, you know, and something people sometimes ego, right? We want to win, we want like, you know, and I get it, you know,
for sure.
Like, I get it. But you know, if you have more struggle in a certain position, put yourself there again and again, you know, like, and this is how you're going to get better. And, that's some of the advice I would give to young me.
That's great advice. I know I've seen there were a lot of rooms in many different gyms that it was just tough guys. You know what I mean? Like the jiu-jitsu was good and maybe even great in some cases, but like just really, really tough people basically fighting, you know what I mean? Like, minus the punching and kicking, but like, it's not, I like that you know, acknowledge it doesn't have to be that way 100% of the time. Like you can train intelligently with a strategy, you know.
Yes, exactly.
And grow.
It also like a lot of specific position, specific training and stuff. Cause like, you know, just rounds. It's a way of training. And some, don't get me wrong, there's like world champion that train that like that their whole life. It's a really like, I would say like, so often call it a very Brazilian way to train. Old school way. Porrada, you know, like we just like train hard
every
all
day,
the time. Every day porrada. And it's every, and it's funny because like the thing is with porrada every day, you have to find a way to become effective and efficient because if not, you're exhausted, right? So I think these way, they still got very technical and very like efficient with their body because like you just train hard all the time, right? But I think at the end of the day, now there's way smarter ways. If you look at John Danaher's approach and like all the guys train there, it's not like hard all the time. You know? And you have some of the best no-gi guys in the world right now. Like probably the best team in no-gi. So you can see like a different approach now, a smarter approach. And you can see even in some of the top schools in the world right now, it's been having a shift to the approach to training because now we also consider like long-term as well. And also like really that's why jiu-jitsu is so much more technical now. Because the training is like just like everybody has a smarter approach to it, you know?
Nice. I think that's something you can keep for longer, right? As you get older, you can keep going and
you can keep going, exactly. And train and you know, you should be able as an athlete even to train with everybody, even like the 50-year-old man and you know, like with a woman, you should be able to train with everyone and get something out of it around. You know,
absolutely.
And still work and improving when you train with everyone, you know. If you struggle training with everyone, there's something we need to work on here.
Right.
Because you should be able to train with everyone and still improve and get something out of the round.
Yeah, that's great advice. I really like that. There's the memes going around, right, of the 18-year-old full-time competitor going to war with the 43-year-old accountant. It's like not always like even Steven, you know what I mean? Like,
of course.
No, that's really good. I completely agree. Like, ideally, there's something to be learned from every single interaction.
Yes.
Right? So. Changing gears once more, I do want to make sure that we talk about the school and, you know, the programs and how to get in touch and how to train with you. But before that, you're also somebody who competed in, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but in bodybuilding, right?
Yeah, I did that like before martial art.
So you have like a very educated awareness of like what it takes to bring your body to extreme levels of performance. Right? So like, for maybe we could talk like on one hand for a competitor and then on the other hand for like hobbyist, regular, you know, full-time job person that does this for fun. You know, like what is your approach to supplementing your training with nutrition and fitness? Like,
Yeah. I made choices in my life to like be as like more efficient as possible with my body and like my health and stuff, like through training and stuff. So like from like drinking alcohol, I didn't drink alcohol like in like I think now like 15 years, you know. And it's a choice, and it's people like, oh, like a beer is not gonna change anything. I agree, and also it's like a choice I make. You know, it's like I think being disciplined with your choice as well, and like okay, that's not helping me in what I want to like achieve my goals. So the way I eat and the way you know I live my life is to try to guide it towards my goal. So I think when you align kind of your lifestyle with like your goals, it makes more sense, right? So that's why it starts with nutrition and the way you eat. You know, like when you eat like fast food and you just like enjoy, like, you know, it doesn't mean to not enjoy food, but like, you know, it's just I think there's a balance to find there. But, you know, putting the right stuff in your body for your mission, you know, especially if you're a competitor, I would say like it's something critical.
Yeah,
because like every day you put your body through so much stress. So you want to try to take away that stress when it's time to eat and rest and like, you know, and drink. So that's like what I would say maybe to younger competitors. And even for older men, I think it's even more important, or women, obviously, older people. I think as I get older, like the way I eat affect me even more. So if I eat something that's like my body doesn't really like, you know, like I'm gonna feel even more in my training, and sometimes slow me down even more. Which sometimes when you're young, you can get away with it, you know, and still like eat like some fast food and come train a hard session. I couldn't do that right now.
No, heartburn, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like as we get older, I think food is so important, and honestly, it's something we can control very easily, you know. And like yes, sometimes some people are like, oh, it's not that easy. Like it's something we can control, you know, like and like our age we can't, but that we can, you know. So I'm trying to control as much as I can what I can't control. And the rest, like, you know, it is what it is. But you know, food is one of the main things that people neglect, I think, and and you have to find also like it's so complex, so people need different things. You know, like what works well for me might not work for you. For sure. You know? But that's why you have kind of like trial and error a bit what you yourself feel the best. You know?
Like if you give me peanuts, I'm gonna die.
Exactly. So you really need to find something that works well for you. And that's why like sometimes like really like pre-made diet type for like everybody. I don't think for me, like I don't really believe in that. Because I think it's like so different for everyone. And you have to find like what works and what affect you in certain ways, what don't. And you know, everybody like react differently to different foods. So I think it's something that you have to find out a little bit by yourself, or some professional as well, but like that are aligned with like you trying some things and find like the best way for you to be like able to do what you love and perform on the mat, you know?
Yeah, that's great advice. You also have like a very good physical preparation. Is it just BJJ now? Do you still lift weights?
Yeah, I still lift weight 2-3 times a week. I stopped a little bit for a while lifting weights and just focusing, and I felt like I was starting to get injured more.
Okay.
So I feel like the balance of lifting weight and training jiu-jitsu keep me a little healthier with my body and stronger, you know, and so that's like. And I think at one point it's necessary to do both. And even like for some of my students, even white belts sometimes, like at first, like I'm like, let's focus on the technique. Let's focus on the, and a lot of people come in and they're really strong, they're really lifting, they're really like, so let's focus on that. And after a while, you need to really like balance your body. Cause like honestly, like any sport we do, we overuse certain muscle or underuse others. Like, you know, 100%. We overcompensate. And like, when you really focus on a specific sport, you can always create some a balance in your body, you know? So you want to like try to balance your body as much as possible with the lifting. And as I get older as well, the lifting is not like, I'm not trying to ego lift, right? It's really trying to keep my body healthy and strong. So I can do and what I love for the rest of my life.
That's really good advice. It's funny because you know, we mostly work in front of a computer, depending, you know, you might have a construction job or another more physical job, but a lot of people are in an office setting. So you're sitting in a chair, maybe you drive to go to work, you're in that same position. And sometimes in jiu-jitsu, you're in that same position, you know what I mean? So like bending the other way becomes like really important.
Exactly.
I love it.
And if you don't focus on that, this is where you start like having some injuries. So
Yeah.
now, like your body, like has some like like less healthy pattern and stuff. So you want to fix that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Good. We're actually going to start training very soon, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah,
I want to make sure to give you a second to talk about where do we find you? If you have a website, and how do we get to train with the team?
Yeah, so I'm situated in Carleton Place, Ontario. So it's about like 25 minutes from like the city. So everyone is welcome. Always stop by, try a class. We have 3-week trials. You can come in and just see the environment, meet the people, see our culture we'll be building here. Culture, like something very important to me. So everyone's welcome. We have a website, torusbjj.com. Okay. So we can on there, you have the schedule. You can find my information, my phone number is there. If you can text me, call me. And so come and visit us, guys.
Come train, you guys. Yeah. Éric, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. And let's get to training.
Thank you.
Oh,